My name is Daniela Stout. I own Cozy Quilt Shop. We opened it 4 years ago, and then we started Cozy Quilt Designs, which is a pattern company, and we create 2.5-inch strip patterns. And Cozy Quilt Shop's in El Cajon, California, which is just outside San Diego.
What got you involved with strip piecing?
We started it as a way to bring people into the shop. We decided that we can entice them to come in once a month, and we would cut down their fabric for them, cut it into 2.5-inch strips, and so we started to create strip club bundles, and then we started to coordinate those bundles and create patterns to go with those bundles. And so we started to come up with strip club patterns, and we've been doing strip club patterns for the last 4 years, almost 4 years now. And it's taken off across the country, and a lot of other quilt shops are also doing 4.5-inch strip club bundles. A lot of it comes from my mom, some of it comes from me, and we just have, over the years, developed a way to see quilts with 2.5-inch strips. Sometimes the inspiration comes from like Venetian blinds or carpets, or just things that we see in nature or on the side of the freeway, and then we create them into patterns. The pattern we made for Quilt of Valor starts with 2.5-inch strips because that's what we do and that's what we're known for. We decided that we'd like to do a design that is particularly patriotic, that can use 2.5-inch strips so it can go together quickly. And since we're known for 2.5-inch strips, we started with 2.5-inch strips. It doesn't have to be a patriotic quilt, but we do like it in the reds, whites, and the blues. And we picked the stars because it also has a patriotic feel to it. So the reason we wanted to make Quilts of Valor is strips are fairly prevalent. We have a lot in our stash, or we can make them from our stash, and we can put them together quickly. And oftentimes when we make a quilt for other people, we need to get it to them as quickly as possible. But you don't give up style because of the fast part of assembling the quilt. So it's important to actually keep the style and to keep something that doesn't necessarily look easy but goes together quickly. The Quilts of Valor quilt that I have right here behind me actually is a sort of a glorified split rail fence. It's simply 4 2.5-inch strips put together and then cut into blocks. We take a few of those blocks, and in the corners we put white triangles. Now those white triangles really pop out to create the star effect, but it really is just a split rail fence with a few triangles to make stars. So it's a simple pattern, but it's really, I think, quite striking and I think quite effective.
So how long would it take someone to make this quilt?
Oh, this quilt won't take very long to put together. You take the 4, especially if the fabric is pre-cut. 4 2.5-inch strips sewn together, cut those into squares, and then add the triangles. And then you have your block, and you put those blocks together simply by twisting and turning them. And then you add your borders. One of the beautiful things about a quilt that's made out of 2.5-inch strips, like our strip club patterns, they don't have to have a lot of yardage of the same fabric. You can go very scrappy. And in our case here, the scrappies are red and blue, but it's still a lot of different reds and a lot of different blues. This pattern is in a new book we've just come out with called The Giving Quilt. And we're also giving it to Quilts of Valor Foundation so they can put on their website so they can hand it out to people who need inspiration to create more quilts for the Quilts of Valor Foundation.
So if we want to get in touch with you, how do we do that?
Our best place is our website, and it's CozyQuilt.com.
And do you have a phone number?
619-670-1516. We're so pleased to have a quilt that others might like and want to make, and we're very pleased to be part of this organization.